Hey guys, just want to make a quick little video to update you guys on some things. At the moment, there is not really that much to update about, but I figure that since a bunch of stuff is done now and I actually have time to make this video, then I will make it and go a little bit more in depth on some things that I touched on in my previous video where I just kind of talked about some stuff miscellaneously. So yeah, the main thing I'm going to talk about obviously is Infinity Bit Season 3, which is one of the things that I touched on in the last video. Now, in case you couldn't tell from the poster, a few episodes of Season 3 are already done, that being up to the third episode. I haven't actually worked on Infinity Bit since then, minus some script writing for some of the next episodes, because following a script is a good idea. And yeah, aside from that, I haven't gotten any more episodes done at the moment. I am working on that, but I don't really know where I'm going with this season because it's kind of, I'm gonna go kind of not really spoilery here. It's not like I'm gonna spoil anything about the actual movie about the actual show or anything, but I just want to kind of talk a little more in depth about what it's gonna be about. Season 3 is going to put a very heavy focus on the Deleter, because I feel like Season 1 and Season 2 kind of failed at establishing him as a threat, seeing as he only shows up in the final episode of those seasons. So in Season 3, he's going to be in pretty much every single episode of the season, and there will be more than just one big fat boss battle with him at the end. There will still be that big fat boss battle with him at the end, but there will be maybe a few more smaller battles. Another thing that you might have noticed from the poster is that it shows a Baldi's Basics thing, even though the Baldi's Basics sequel is already coming out. Thanks, guys, for that. Can't really keep up with that, but it looks awesome. I'm glad that it's a thing that's happening, but now Season 3 is not gonna be with the times. So yeah, I just want to quickly establish, similarly to how Season 2 was not entirely about Mario, even though the poster showed the Mario episode art, Season 3 is not going to be about Baldi's Basics or anything. There is a Baldi's Basics episode in Season 3, but it's not like the entire season is themed around that. I just thought that was a cool thing to base the art around, because I like usually choosing one episode that I can base the cover around, so that, kind of, I don't know, what am I talking about? But yeah, Season 3, I am planning to put a very heavy focus on the Deleter, establishing the Deleter more as a character, kind of. The leader has a voice now. Lots of you probably aren't going to like that. I'm not sure I'm entirely happy with it, because since I play everyone, of course I had to do the voice, so it's basically just me layered and pitch shifted multiple times, which is a little bit unfortunate, because if there's one thing you can say about me, it's that my voice is not intimidating in the slightest. So that's a little bit difficult to work with. But I think that it's coming together quite nicely, actually, and I like the look of the season so far. I think that it's turning out very nicely. But yeah, the season is going to focus mostly on the Deleter. Like, it's not like it's gonna, I don't know, show the Deleter as a protagonist or anything. It's not gonna follow the Deleter. But the Deleter is going to have a much bigger role as the main series antagonist, Because if you look at his character card, he is listed as the series antagonist, so yeah, I figured, gee, he's not much of an antagonist if he only ever shows up in episode 8 of anything. So that's why I'm establishing him more and giving him a voice and writing him out as a character and making it so that he's not just a cheap effect that I made in MS Paint 3D. Yeah, by the way, I made that. I know some of you probably think that that's just some green screen effect that I stole off the internet. Nope, I made that. That was nightmare fuel that I made myself. Fun fact, actually, that was originally going to be for a Room Watcher game. But, yeah. So, Infinity Bit Season 3, as of now, it's going pretty well. I don't know when I'm going to start working on it again, but probably very shortly. Once again, I am confirming, although it will take a while to get it out. It is going to be a thing that happens. It is going to be a thing that I will put out. And hopefully you guys will watch it and enjoy it. Next thing that I want to touch on is the Infinity Bit Movie 2. I didn't really establish the title. The title isn't just going to be the Formula Fanboy Infinity Bit Movie 2, because that would be real creative of me. The title that I've kind of settled on as of now is How to Clone Yourself. So I think that that's a good idea based just around what the kind of subject matter is, because I don't know if I mentioned this in the previous video. I think I did briefly. But it's gonna be a prequel as opposed to a sequel, so it's gonna take place before the events of Infinity Bit Season 1, and everything following that. So, the timeline would go How to Clone Yourself, Infinity Bit Season 1, Infinity Bit Movie, Infinity Bit Season 2, Infinity Bit Season 3. Because I realized that I haven't really explained the backstory of Infinity Bit in the slightest. I kind of introduced the show basically with the opening monologue of, "Hi, welcome to Infinity Bit," and then I just kind of explained the series rules, and, this is the digital world, blah, blah, blah. But it's never really explained, why there's a digital world beyond, oh, the apocalypse happened, except then in the movie, spoiler alert, it's revealed that the apocalypse didn't happen, and, a whole bunch of other stuff like that. And it just, as of now, I realize that just to the average viewer, the Infinity Bit timeline and story is just really, really screwed up. So I figured I've got some questions to answer too. So that's what the second movie is going to be about. Another thing is that the second movie, very much like the first movie, is going to have more like live action. And when I say live action, you probably think the Formula Infinity Bit is already live action. Technically, it's a lot more animated than it is live action, because the only live action stuff in it is the humans. And everything else is just, like green screen. So, when I say it's going to have more live action, I mean, not only more than what was already in the first movie, but just in general, there's going to be, the real world in the movie, as opposed to the whole thing just being in front of a backdrop. So yeah, that also means I'm going to have to start using actual cameras, and stuff like that. But there will be a lot more real world scenes, if that's what you want to call them, because technically Infinity Bit is not the real world. And there's actually going to be some of that stuff in Season 3 as well, but I won't go very in-depth with that. But yeah, the way that I figure the movie's going to be structured is it's going to start off by showing kind of the events leading up to Infinity Bit. So, like, I don't know if I want to have this be just the first act or the entire first half of the movie. I'm probably going to make it just the first act. But the first act will focus on what led Formula to make a whole stupid digital world in his laptop. And then Act 2 will focus on him trying to establish some sort of digital world and failing several times. And then Act 3 is going to focus more on, what happens after that. Once he's actually created Infinity Bit and, he, spoiler alert again, makes Pill. Because for those of you who haven't seen the movie, Pill is not a real person, and neither is anyone in Infinity Bit. They're all clones. They're all clones of Formula, and that's why the movie's called How to Clone Yourself, is because that's what he does. He clones himself. He clones himself again, and again, and again, and again, and that's pretty much how he populates Infinity Bit and all of these other worlds that he's going to create, and eventually destroy. So, Formula's kind of a bad person, actually, when you think about it. I don't want him to be a bad person, but, he does some pretty crappy things. But yeah, it's gonna establish, okay, so he makes this world, but this thing doesn't work out, so then he gets rid of that, and then he makes a new one, but then there's a problem there. And then eventually, it'll get to the point where he makes Infinity Bit, and it's great, and it's good, and it's everything he ever wanted to be, and he's all alone. Kind of like me. So that's when he gets to the point when he tries to figure out how to populate it, and then he's like, well, how the hell do I do that? Wait, I know, I'll just make 1,000,000,001 versions of myself. That way I'll feel even more alone. And so that's exactly what he does, and that's how Pill and Carl Cowlover and Nick and Josh and everyone that you've ever seen in Infinity Bit is created, except for the inanimate objects like Baby Tad and all sorts of other things. Fun fact, Baby Tad is actually one of my childhood toys. That's not a lie. I just thought it would be funny to turn him into some creepy haunted thing. I don't see him that way. I don't even think that the toy is creepy at all. I just got some sort of comedic relief out of turning a childhood icon of mine into an evil, creepy villain. This is completely off topic. I'm sorry, I'm sidetracking. But yeah, so just to clarify and a slightly more in-depth look at what Infinity Bit is going to do in the following content, I don't know. So Season 3, I'm going to work on making Season 3 first. While I'm working on making Season 3, I'll also work on writing the script for the movie, because the movies, unlike the show, usually I write the script for the entire thing as one thing, and then I act it out, as opposed to the show where usually I kind of write the script as I go along, which helps to get it done faster. But yeah, I'm also going to be putting a lot of work into the effects and the chroma keying and a lot of things to make some fight scenes and other things look really legitimate. So it's going to look like it has a much higher production value than it actually does. It's still going to be on the budget of a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, but it's going to, basically I'm going to sacrifice a whole lot of happiness to give you guys a better product. You're welcome. I'm Jesus. Just kidding. Why did I say that out loud? But, yeah. It's gonna be not fun. Not fun for me at all. I don't know if I've ever really mentioned this, but, as it is, editing Infinity Bit and acting it out and writing it and all that is already very much a not enjoyable experience. It was before, when I was making Season 1 and all that, because it was like, oh, this is so cool and new, and I've never done anything like this before. And then the movie was like, oh yeah, this is awesome, I'm making a real movie, hooray! And then when I got to Season 2, it was like, please end me now, I hate this so much, I hate making this. I like the end product, but I hate making it so much. But, yeah, I could write a novel about just the stress of actually making Infinity Bit. But I'm not here to complain about it. I'm here to actually make it, and every now and then upload a video where I just kind of unload on you guys. Because you guys are awesome and you let me unload on you. That sounded politically incorrect. But yeah, Season 3, gonna work on that. It's gonna take a while for it to actually be what I want it to be. I'm thinking of also having some harsher themes in it, but aside from that, I think Infinity Bit will probably come out, or start coming out, sometime before the end of the summer. Most likely sometime in August, but maybe September. I don't know how long it's going to take. For all I know, by the time the movie comes out, it's going to be Christmas time. But yeah, it's going to be Season 3, which is going to take a very, very long time to make. And then it's going to be the actual movie, which is going to probably not take as long, funny enough, despite the fact that the movies usually take the longest to make. But, yeah, the movie... I think the movie is what I'm looking forward to the most. Honestly, I am looking forward to making the movie a lot more than I am to Season 3. Because whenever I get to work with the live-action stuff and just acting out in the real world and just making a movie in general, I usually have a much more enjoyable time and get a much more enjoyable product than when I'm not. Again, I don't know if I've ever said this in a video, but I am very proud of the Infinity Bit movie, even though there are some very basic amateur mistakes in it. I am very proud of it, and I dare even say I'm a little more proud of it than most of the actual Infinity Bit series. Even though it's called Formula Fanboy Infinity Bit, and Formula Fanboy himself is not in the movie very, primitively, is that the word that I'm looking for? I don't know. But yeah, there's gonna be a bit more of a focus of Formula in the newer one. In Act 1, it's going to be pretty much all Formula with a few other actors, hopefully, if I can get them to actually be willing to act for Infinity Bit. Anyone who knows me in real life who may or may not be watching this video, if you want to act, please do. I will pay you. I really need actors, and nobody is usually willing to do it. I will pay you. But yeah, so there's gonna be that, and then in Act 2, it's also gonna be mostly Formula, but with some of the deformities that he makes. And then in Act 3, it's gonna be primarily Formula and Pill, because in the original Infinity Bit movie, Formula and Pill really didn't get much screen time at all together, and when they did, again, spoiler alert, Formula's the villain. So I realize I haven't really had any movie Infinity Bit stuff where Pill and Formula are really together. Hey, that's the sun. So I kind of wanted to maybe put a bit more of a focus on that, since I thought it was a bit of a shame that, like I said, the Formula Fanboy Infinity Bit movie does not really have Formula Fanboy in the actual movie. Yeah, and I think that's everything. Holy crap, this video is already like 18 minutes. But, yeah, if you've watched to this point, thank you, you're the best. I know that a lot of the time when I upload these videos, very few people actually watch them the whole way through, and I don't blame you if you skim through them a little bit, because I can just talk and talk and talk sometimes. And I get that, but sometimes, you know, it's just stuff on my mind, and I want to say it, but since I have no friends, I can't just say it to a person, so I say it to a camera. And, ooh, I just realized how sad my life is. But, yeah, I'm really looking forward to making the movie. Season 3 is not really what I'm thinking about right now, which I know I should be, because that's what I'm supposed to be working on. So I'm going to try and finish Season 3. It's going to hurt. It's going to suck. It is going to be something that I will hate doing so much. I will detest myself. I will detest the process. It's not going to be fun, but eventually I'll make it through. And once I've pulled through, I'll be like, hooray! and then I can start working on the movie, which will hopefully turn out really good, because I'm going to put a lot of work and effort into making the movie good, and then that's going to be about it. If there's one more thing I'd say, it's kind of a random thing, but I just figured I should say it just so people know. Even though the prequel is, even though the new movie is going to be a prequel, then if you haven't watched the rest of Infinity Bit yet, you probably shouldn't watch this first. Mind you, if you haven't watched the rest of Infinity Bit yet, you probably shouldn't have watched through this video because of the very large amount of spoilers for Infinity Bit that there is in this video. That's going to be a whole lot of plot twists that you won't be surprised by. So yeah, if you haven't seen Infinity Bit, or, you plan to or anything, then don't see the second movie first. It is a prequel, but it is going to have certain spoilers and certain things that won't make sense if you haven't seen the rest of the series. Which, again, if you've watched to this point in the video, I guess too bad. Go ahead, knock yourself out. But yeah, that's pretty much all that I wanted to talk about. Thank you guys for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. One more thing before I go. This is a poll. Please answer the poll. I want to know how many people actually watch Infinity Bit and how many people like it. So just do the thing with the poll and say whether you watch it or not, and then in the comments, if you have watched it, tell me whether you like it. Tell me if you don't like it, especially, because as I said in my last video, I really want to know what I'm doing wrong if I'm doing it wrong, because that's the only way to get better. And I know that Infinity Bit is not perfect by any means of the imagination, so please criticize away. I really do take it as an opportunity to improve as opposed to an attack like most people, so I'd really love it if you have some thoughts that you want to share. So I'm going to stop rambling now, because the video is already 21 minutes, and in this amount of time you could have watched a full TV show. And I'll see you guys next time. Salutations, and goodbye.